Fridays with Geraldo segment tonight. A study out of the University of New Hampshire says that the latest census numbers could show that more minority babies are being born in the USA than white babies. The study goes on to say that minority groups in America combined may become the majority by the middle of the 21st century. So what will that mean? With us, Fox News anchor Geraldo Rivera. In 1950, when you were 20 years old, there were
I'd already married twice.
5 million Hispanics in America. Now there are 50 million.
Right.
Okay. And the combination of Hispanics, Asians, and African Americans will overtake white Americans by the middle of this century. How will that change the country, in your opinion?
Well, I think that, first of all, America will be the republic we adore and pledge allegiance to. America, in the fundamental sense of what it is to be a democratic republic, will not change. But the complexion of the country, and for the first time in human history, will become darker. Of that, there is no doubt. This is a demographic reality.
But it has to play out in a political and social way. It has to play out in a political and social way.
And in an economic way.
I don't know about that. I don't know about economic, because I still think that there is no difference among people, Americans, in their drive to succeed. I don't think there's a difference. They want to succeed.
I agree with that, particularly
so I don't see an economic deal.
The Latinos that I know best. But it is opening vast new markets for entrepreneurs in this country. Look at Russia. Compare the United States with our, first of all, driven by immigration and now more recently by native births, and the vast majority of Hispanic babies, for example, are citizen-born now. Compare that to Russia, where they've had no influx, no energetic young population moving in. Russia went from 148 million people during the height of the Soviet Union to 141 million. It's down 7 million people. The population is aging. Our population, but for the new immigrants and the Latino population, this bubbling up of these youngsters, would be aging also. Who would support Social Security, for example?
Well, no, look, there's no doubt that the minority groups are going to be a driver of the economy. I don't have any problem. All right, let me throw some stats at you and see how this is going to play out. Okay, crime. This is an amazing stat. 28% of those incarcerated are black, but arrested I should say, are black. 69% are white. So whites dominate the arrest sheets far more than their population. You always hear the cops are picking on the African Americans, but whites are arrested way higher than African Americans.
I think in those issues,
isn't that interesting?
Crime and punishment. Yes, of course it is. But in crime and punishment, I don't think the country will be meaningfully affected.
Okay, so it's going to stay the same.
The law says that rich and poor alike cannot steal bread or cannot sleep under bridges.
The same. All right. What about births to unmarried women? Now, this is a scandal. African Americans, 70%. Latinos, 50%. Whites, 26%. Now, that has to impact American society. It has to.
As I wrote, I think that that aspect of our social society is devastatingly negative in its impact. The fact that half of Latino children are born out of wedlock is a horrible thing.
But
the fact that our children are less educated. And I think that they are extolling a virtue that doesn't exist. And I think that
what's that?
Responsible
What virtue is that?
you can have it all. That you can have children and still participate in entitlement programs, particularly if you're not married and there's no personal responsibility.
Both you and I know that this is a devastating statistic. All right? It's devastating.
But I think that
how does it play out?
Here is the point that I think that you're missing, with all due respect. When you have these newcomers or these new groups that now become from minority to majority, they will mature in time. They will become.
You think these stats are going to go down?
They will become as traditional. For instance, Latin American people or Latino people, Hispanic people in this country are inherently socially conservative. They go to church. They want their kids in the Boy Scouts.
You think these stats are going to go down?
I think that they will, as the population matures, go down.
If they don't,
I think if you compare it to previous immigrant groups in this country, you will find they similarly went through some of these antisocial behaviors.
But that doesn't explain the African American intrusion.
Well,
it does not explain
that's an issue that we have to talk about role models, and we have to listen to our president, extols the virtue of family values.
To me, that is the game changer, if anything.
But it will.
All right, Geraldo, you know, you're a sage. You're a sage. We know that.
Come to the middle.
All right.
I guarantee.
If it doesn't, we're all going to live at your house.
Yes.
Directly ahead.